But this proves that Joseph's brothers weren't nice to him at all. But on top of throwing Joseph into the pit, they mocked Joseph and shoved him, and whatever else your siblings do to you when they gang up on you. Except, this was all much worse than everything else they had done, because they truly hated him with everything in their being. They were so fed up with him at this point, they were ready to get rid of him through whatever means necessary, which is when they threw him into the pit and then sold him as a slave. And the fall that he suffered to the bottom of the pit was not a nice little 3-foot hop where he could have just made it out. Based on the research we did, it was about a 10 to 12-foot drop onto rock.
Which is pretty much just falling off of a one-story house on the concrete.
So that's like when you were little and you would take the bed sheet off your bed and you would grab the corners to make a parachute, and you'd go up to the second story of the dorm, get on the windowsill, and in your mind, you're just going to Mary Poppins your way at the bottom and land on your tippy toes. So you get up, you jump, and gravity instantly takes over and you crash to the ground. Oh, am I the only one who did that? Okay. But except when you fell, the only difference between you and Joseph is when you fell, you more likely fell onto grass versus him falling straight onto rock.
So I remember when we used to have one of those campers where you had the crank and you'd stick it into the gear and you'd start to turn it, and the top of the camper would slowly rise up, and then you could go glamping. You could not camp with this thing, it was glamping. But when we weren't glamping, yep, there it is. When we weren't glamping, it was parked at the top of a hill, and we would go on top of it. We sometimes decided to play on it. It was nice and flat, so we would go and play on it. And one day, my sweet brother decided to dare his little sister to jump off of the top of the camper onto concrete, barefoot.
Thinking that she had enough sense in her to say no to it.
It's a dare, you can't not do a dare. So I did it, and ended up with a broken foot and lots of bloody toes. So I was very mad at my brother. But just imagine Joseph. He's falling from double the height that I fell, and I ended up with a broken foot from that height. Imagine how many broken bones he would have from double. And unlike me, because I wanted to jump, he did not. He was shoved in there. It would probably not have ended well for him.